Today, the most famous guild in World of Warcraft has died officially. Onlyfangs is no more, and you might be wondering what the hell just happened. Well, it's kinda funny, and that's what I'm here for. As you guys know, Onlyfangs is a content project made by Sodapoppin, one of the OG streamers of World of Warcraft. I think out of the big streamers in WoW, he should be one of the first. He's been streaming from, I don't know, 2011, 2012. So that's the kind of age we are talking about. So this guy made a content project, Onlyfangs, where all the streamers got together to play hardcore WoW. You die, you delete your character, and their goal was very simple. We gotta clear the content and not die. He did this before, but this year was a little different as he got Tyler 1 aboard and a lot more streamers, including most importantly Tyler 1, League of Legends most popular streamer, huge streamer who eventually became the leader of the guild, and a very successful content arc, which in turn gave Sodapoppin a spike in popularity going all the way to well over 20,000 viewers. So this is a big deal, okay? Onlyfangs is a big deal. This is the first time since 2019 when normies know what the hell is a World of Warcraft. So when these people are gone, that will have effects on what happens to the game. We don't know exactly what, but this is a big deal. All I'm trying to say. As you guys know, Blackwing lair came out this week, and this is where the story begins, or well, ends. This is footage of them doing Blackwing lair right now. This is from Simon Eyes. We love Simon Eyes. Shout out to Simon Eyes. They are about to do Ebon Rock, one of the bosses of the dungeon, and they start experiencing lag.
Kill the hands off the keyboard.
Yeah, we almost killed him and he just started healing off himself.
What about right now? Do we log in or no?
No, don't log in.
I don't think
I'm
he's
gonna
log
log
out.
in,
Bro, I'm in the login server.
I think I'm probably dead. Guy just got hit by a shadow flame. Oh well.
Yeah,
a hardcore character is dead.
That sucks.
And there he dies. As you can see, they couldn't get a bunch of casts off, they couldn't move, the servers were pretty much melting down, and once you die, you lose forever. Most of the guild died, except a couple lucky ones that escaped, and here is where it gets saucy. Blizzard servers are notorious for experiencing a lot of lag. That is not new. When there's a lot of people in the open world, the server lags. Now, this is not what is supposed to happen. They are in a closed instance, so they are not in the open world. And even when you experience serious lag in the game, there's never to the point that you cannot actually play. This is a concerted attack. Somebody or a group of people are targeting the infrastructure of Blizzard to make the servers not work during the raid. The timing is not a coincidence, as you guys know. Why would they do that at this time of the raid? It is not peak time, it is a Sunday, very early relatively speaking, in a Sunday for a raid time. This is not peak demand of the game. Usually the game peaks at Saturday. So is it possible that Blizzard had serious issues today, randomly at the very same time? Yes, but it is very unlikely. Especially given that the game shut down in the middle of a pool of a boss that is kinda infamous for killing whoever is at the wrong spot, which that's what happens when the game is lagging and the boss is just running everywhere. I am pretty sure this is a concerted attack, which is very difficult to do because it is one thing to DDoS or to shut down the open world where you can just jam a bunch of people, that's very easy. A guy with 80 accounts can probably do that. And it is a very different thing to shut down the entire instance, which is private and separate. The attack was all of Blizzard's infrastructure, and as far as I could tell, it is not actually on the processing side of things, it is on the networking side of things. Somebody found a way to attack the pipeline that communicates the server with the players. That's why you can see the boss still moving and everything still happening, but people not being able to execute commands, because the connection is what's faulty. More notably, more importantly, it is your upload connection to the game or the server's download connection that is targeted. It was so severe that Cataclysm and Season of Discovery kept having also lag issues for a while, and the reason the attack had to be so generalized is because you cannot target a private instance, there's only 40 people in there. There are many ways to do something like this, and colloquially we call it DDoS, denial of service attack. Now this is not the sometimes the most exact, the most correct term to say this, but basically an attack like this is done by overwhelming the load of a server by sending a bunch of junk data to the server, so the connection of the server cannot handle all the junk false data that people are sending through some sort of bot network, usually. Due to the security policy of a company such as Blizzard, we are never gonna know the specifics of the attack, so unless the hacker comes out and actually brags about it, that's most of what we can assume from this. But obviously this poses a problem. If when you die, you lose forever, you cannot play again, and somebody out there is capable of shutting down the server at will, how could Onlyfangs ever raid again if they are just gonna die? Because all it takes is one bot network to do it. That takes us to today's very big problem. This is from Sodapoppin a little after it's setting on him.
Ask around, I'll see if it to be like some closing speech, but it really might be. I'll ask around, I'll see if things can get fixed, but if this is just how it is, then yeah, that's the end. Because I'm not gonna have people prepare and get ready just to die to a DC when it's just inevitably gonna happen again, which blows. So unfortunate. Yeah, how'd that not happen in MC? I don't know. I guess the individual just didn't get mentally ill enough, whoever's doing this. So they must have surpassed some threshold and missed some type of therapy session of some sort, and here they are. BWL time. Either way, guys, I don't really want it to be like some closing speech, but it really might be, because I've already explained why. Things have been great. I'm glad everyone's watched. I had fun. Especially at the beginning. Obviously at the end it turned into raid logging because that's what it turns into, but regardless, you know, the whole thing was one big journey. Even though the ending was raid logging, it all was still stitched together. And
there you go. So this is what he's saying, and it makes a lot of sense. If somebody can target them whenever they want, even though I disagree that it's a single individual, it is probably more people than that in some way. You need several devices to do something like this. There are some ways. For example, using malware to infect a bunch of computers and then use those computers later on, all in one for a single attack. They call that a sleeper attack, like a zombie attack. I believe it is done by a group and not by a single person. That's all I'm trying to say. It takes a while to organize something like this or this size to overwhelm a single server as big as Blizzard's. But yes, if somebody can just do this whenever they want, what is stopping them from doing it again? And why would you spend months preparing a character just to die again because one guy or several guys just felt like shutting down the game when you are about to do something really dangerous? Now Soda mentions that he's gonna call Blizzard to ask for a rollback, and you could say, okay, Blizzard should give them a rollback, should fix this and get their characters back in. And probably that sounds like a fair thing to do, but there is a problem, and that is the optics problem. Why does Blizzard give people's characters back when it's a streamer that loses their character to a disconnect and not when a normal person dies to a disconnect? Well, there is not a great reason they can give for that except that we want streamers back, and even if they do roll it back, are they gonna get the streamers back? Are the streamers gonna be happy about it? Well, maybe not, and the PR hit they could take from doing something like this preferential treatment, might hurt them more than they could help themselves through Onlyfangs, which Blizzard really appreciates, as it is getting a lot of the lowest common denominator of Twitch on the platform, on the game. Maybe not playing it, but watching it, you know, like one step. That's potential people that could play the game later on, and Blizzard would like Onlyfangs to continue, I am sure. But I do not think it is likely that Blizzard will roll it back, just because of the precedent it would set and the poor optics it would generate. Even if I think that would be the morally correct thing to do, the thing is that if you do the morally correct thing to do to one person, you have to do it for everybody, and they don't want to deal with that, sadly. And a little later, after this little clip, right after they died, we get this message from him. This has to be the blurriest screenshot I have ever seen, so I am gonna read it to you, just the highlights. This is from Sodapoppin himself. Clearly the DDoS attacks are centered on us. I have reached for a potential rollback, so he called Blizzard basically, but it is highly unlikely and I wouldn't hope for it, so it is not gonna happen. He himself is saying he doesn't think it's gonna happen. We still have people that can play, but I do not feel comfortable dragging people through this when they have the anxiety and they could just be in DDoS again and die. So with that, I expect Onlyfangs to be over. There you go. It is a terrible ending, but that's the ending we got, yada yada yada. If we get a rollback or if I hear some solid things like DDoS protection, ignore this, but yeah, it is probably messed up because I do not see that happening. I wanted to give you guys an update as soon as possible where my head is at. So he is saying he's open to the idea that if Blizzard makes a serious effort to fix this problem in some way, he might come back. And I think he is forced to say something like that by the sense of, if there is anybody that can fix this problem, actually, if there is anybody that can motivate Blizzard to fix this problem, because they are the only people that can fix this problem, it is probably gonna be a bunch of streamers that are bringing a lot of marketing for free to the game. If those people cannot motivate Blizzard to do their job, nobody else can. So I take that as a good thing for him to say that. Even if I don't play hardcore myself, I guess we have reached the end of hardcore as a big streamer event forever. Because if it is this easy to orchestrate a DDoS attack on this scale, that a single group of individuals or even a single person period can just take down the server whenever they want, and if you die, you cannot try again, you are just done. That's gotta be like the ultimate trolling feeding. This is the most rewarding way to troll a streamer. I would say, in the mind of a troll, this is probably even more satisfying than getting a person swatted, because yes, that is very risky and awful for the person and very illegal. You shouldn't do it. But usually that just means you ruin a streamer's day. With this, you ruin a streamer's 6-month project. So yeah, I could see a lot of motivation from a single loser troll guy to just try to mess with a streamer. Now, contrary to popular belief, I do not think Pirate Software is responsible for this because, okay, let's see. He has the knowledge to do an attack like this. He is a programmer and he probably knows how to put together a script to execute a DDoS attack because it is fairly basic. Now, he does have the resources because he is very wealthy as a big streamer and he could probably pay some Russian guy to do something like this, or some other people working for him to do something like this. And he does have the motives. As a person that got publicly humiliated by Sodapoppin himself and then got kicked out of Onlyfangs, thus setting him in a downward spiral where his career has never recovered. Now, he does have the resources, the knowledge, and the motive to do something like this, but he totally hasn't done it. No, he didn't do it, okay? He didn't do it. Soda, do not look at him. He didn't do it, okay? Like, he was streaming during the same time as this happened. Okay, yes, you can absolutely schedule an attack ahead of time to happen if you're running one of these scripts of malware to do it. You could do it ahead of time. You could feasibly plan for it and then get on stream and pretend nothing is happening. That would be a very believable alibi for somebody that was planning this ahead of time. And that is something that somebody that was planning to do an attack like this would do to cover up their own tracks. And because of all of these facts that are not questionable, he hasn't done it, okay? He has not done it. That's all I'm trying to say, okay? It is just stupid, okay? Please stop saying this stupid stuff. It just doesn't make any sense. He has proven time and time again he is not petty or willing to stomp down on people that make fun of him or that make him feel inferior or stupid, so he would never do this. I do not think Pirate Software is responsible for this attack at all. Subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.